Right, selection, I mean that's your initial process of, how can you say, keeping the good and get rid of the bad type thing from everybody that applies to go to the regiment. You imagine, I mean, on average course, I think there's something like maybe 150 to 200 people apply. And out of that lot, you're going to get perhaps 10, 15 guys who'll pass. What they try to do is get rid of the guys early. And the way they do this is, well, basically, it's physical and mental tests as such. So you start off, normally day one, you might have to walk, let me see, around about 24, 25k, carrying something like £40, yeah, plus your rifle and your Bergen. Your rifle and your belt kit, I should say. The next day, the distance will be upped by maybe an extra 5k, a bit more extra weight, and the time gets tighter and tighter as well. I mean, every time you're out walking over a set distance, they will give you a time, but the thing is, you don't know the time. Yeah, they might allow you 8 hours to do a set distance, but you don't know that. You're using your brain all the time because you're actually going map read everywhere you go. I mean, all the instructors will tell you is, well, you know where you are to start with. All they'll say to you, right, there's your grid reference. They'll tell you once normally, and that is it, because it's all about remembering things as well. Providing you've, let's say, done enough previous training before you go on selection, you should be fit enough and tough enough to do it. Hopefully. But it doesn't always work that way. Interrogation, I mean, this comes at the end of virtually 5-6 months going through the process of selection and what they call continuation training. They finish it off with interrogation. Basically, you've had 2 weeks combining of lectures, how to survive in the wild, stuff like this, things you can eat, things not to eat, and then you go on what they call going on the run. You're dropped off in the middle of nowhere, and you're wearing, if you're lucky, you've got boots, some sort of pair of trousers, a jacket, and what they used to do was give you an old greatcoat. That was it. You'd have a survival compass, which is about the size of, let's say, a new 5-pence piece. You've got a sketch map that they give you, and basically, if you're lucky, it's got north on it and maybe a few sort of prominent points, and from there you've got to work out where you're going. Same as before, you've got your start point, and they will give you a grid reference to go to roughly 24 hours later, and this is where you'll meet an agent, and he will give you your next grid reference. And it's normally worked over about a 7-day period when you're on the run. The distance you cover on that is roughly around about 100k over the 7 days, and you're being chased by a so-called hunter force, who are really nice lads, but they're out to catch you. Yep, and it's the whole thing like you're doing sort of SAS selection. These guys for the Green Army, if they catch you, it's like a feather in their cap. So I mean, these guys are really trying hard. So you run ragged for about a week, but the problem is you know you're going to get caught at the end because you must go through interrogation. So you get captured, and then you're put in what they call like a holding cell somewhere, which could be an old farm building, something like this. Now you get in there, they put you against the wall, what they call stress positions. Basically they're just designed to make your body ache and get you tired, and it's the whole thing, if you're tired and in pain, they ask you questions. If you answer that question correctly, they will give you like goodies. Sometimes they might give you a cup of tea. If you're a smoker, they might get a cigarette off them, or they might give you a biscuit. The idea is when you're being questioned, it be the grey man. Show no emotion. Doesn't matter what question they ask you, or let's say what mode of dress you're in, because sometimes they'll actually strip you off, and it could be a woman interrogator there. And they'll make comments about your manhood and all the rest of it, or just make some funnies. So they ask you these questions, and they're designed to be tactical. Yeah, so they'll ask you your name, rank number, what army unit you're in, where you've been, what you're supposed to be doing, all this sort of thing. Now, if this was a real war type scenario, you wouldn't answer these questions. Well, try not to. So this is what you try to do during this interrogation phase. But as I said before, you try not to antagonise them, because in real life they would beat you to pulp. Yeah, but you try to get a happy balance, you know. And at the same time, the guys who are interrogating you, they're actually going through a training phase as well, because they're actually learning how to ask tactical questions and break people down. You know, like they'll try and get your first name out of you if they haven't already got it. They get this one-on-one scenario, and they'll try and be nice to you. Then somebody else might try the nasty method, you know, shouting, bawling and screaming at you, and hopefully you break down that way. I mean, you've got to remember, you haven't had much sleep for a week, you're a bit tired, you might be still wet, yeah? You're cold, you're hungry, and all these little things break you down mentally. Yeah, I mean, hopefully by this stage you've got the physical toughness, but it's the mental side that they're playing on. They'll keep asking the same question over and over and again. You might give the same answer, but they will swap your answer around. Yeah, they may ask you your age. You may have told them you're 25, say for instance. Yeah, they'll ask a few more questions, then they'll go, oh yeah, so you're 26. And what they're trying to do is get a reaction from you. You'll say, no, I didn't say 26, I said 25. So now they're starting to play on words. Yeah, but the main thing is they've actually got you talking. Yeah, so they've broken that one of these barriers down, and they'll keep progressing from there and there and try and get as much as possible from you. Basically, at the end of the day, all you do, you give them your name, your rank, your army number,